Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. It is I, Dawn Marie Alexander Borsico, with Life It's Only a Decision. The last few weeks we've been talking about a few things like anxiety, not anxiety, but alignment. We've also talked about, how do we deal with conflict and leadership in the society that we're living in? Like, how do we become the effective leaders that we want? But and one thing that I was thinking about recently with watching all the things that are going on in the news and society, in my other world, when I'm not doing Life It's Only a Decision and when I'm not doing any coaching, I do taxes and I tend to interact with people quite often. And one thing that I hear, I listen to people or even just out and about in the grocery store, and it seems that so many people are riddled with fear. So many people are really riddled with fear. They're concerned, they're anxious, they're panicky, and I'm like, wow. So what would be the thing today that could encourage you to not allow the fear and the noise of our society to really distract us from who we are, our goals, and our foundation? So I thought, hey, let's talk about it. Let's find out what are those two or three things that we could do. And we've talked about it before as it relates to other topics, but I think now is just as good a time as any because we need to be reminded about our foundation and our grounding. I think if you remember correctly, if you've been following me, that when we talk about alignment, what is our foundation that we need to be aligned to? And the same thing goes when emotions come up. Many times, what we're going through things in life, we have to make a decision to that which what we believe. If we say that we're people of faith or that we're people that, that we've been doing the right thing for our life and we have things in place, then the amount of fear, anxiety that we experience should be minuscule. And if it's not, we need to ask ourselves why. If we are being moved by every wind of things that are happening in our society that affect how we present ourselves in our jobs and towards making our way towards success, then we probably need to revisit. Because here's the thing, all of us can make a decision, regardless of what's going on around us, to thrive. It may be more challenging for some than it is for others, but the point is that each and every one of you, like myself, have an ability to thrive. We may have to look at it a little different. We may have to sacrifice a little more. We may have to think outside the box, AKA an uncommon voice coaching and consulting, because I don't think and respond like others might think that I should. And maybe the same could be said for you. So when you're thinking about all that's happening in our society right now and what people want you to think, what they want you to feel, what they want you to emote about, I want you to ask yourself, does that emotion, does that feeling, is it going to get you to where you want to go? Is it going to help you achieve the success that you desire to achieve? Is it? And if it isn't, then why do we allow our ears to become the garbage cans of the world, so to speak, or what others want us to be? Life is only a decision. And when I first started this channel or just started this topic in general, I thought life is only a decision. But that decision sometimes may be easier for others in some areas and hard for others in another area. But the bottom line is that life is riddled with nothing but decisions. The decisions you make today could bite you tomorrow. You know what I mean? And I don't want any of you to feel as though you're not going to achieve your goals. So, in the midst of all the turmoil that we see or that they say is going on, because depending on how you look at it, the glass could be either half empty or half full. It could be a prosperous time or a fearful time. It all depends on how you choose to put the narrative on the decision. There's so many people and situations that are dictating who we are, that creates a fear, that creates a feeling of lack or a negative mindset, which isn't going to get you to your goals. So I want you to think about something. When you're listening to the news or watching the news or watching podcasts, or you're around the bubbler, as we say in Wisconsin, when you're at work or the water fountains and having those office conversations, and I want you to think about something. is that thought going to help you achieve your goal? Is what you're listening to or what's being told about you going to help you achieve your goal? Because we live in a bubble, so to speak, or we don't live in a bubble. We're like maybe in this glass fishbowl and we're all together. But at the end of the day, we each have our own responsibility to choose the life that we want and how we want to make it happen. And sometimes there's been situations and circumstances that, again, make it easier for some or harder for others. What are you going to do? But the decision is yours. And I wanted to take a time and a moment to encourage you. There's so much going on that's negative, and where do you get that positive voice that says you can do it? So if you're listening to things, whether it be the news or podcast or whatever it may be, even music maybe, or what you're reading or listening to, if it is not going to put fuel to your goals and to your success, then is it something that you need to be vested into? And if you're looking at things and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is happening, it scares me, how can you turn that around for your good? How can you turn it around for your success? There's so much going on with conflict and, identity. I don't want to say identity politics, but people, I listen and I hear people wanting to define who we are. But you define who you are. You wake up in the morning and you determine the person that you want to be. We've talked about that before. Setting out that goal that you desire. And when you're surrounded by fear or distractions, it can really get in the way. So I ask you today, who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? What does he or she look like? What do you need to do to get there? Are you surrounded by negativity or are you surrounded by positive thoughts, positive people? They say birds of a feather flock together, and that is so definitely true. There's an old adage that says that iron sharpens iron. When you want to go up, when you want to increase, when you want to improve, you have to take risk. You have to put yourself out there. You have to think beyond where you are to where you're going to be. Life is only a decision. So I said that this wasn't going to be long today, but I wanted to definitely jump on. I didn't want too much time to go by before we spent some time together. But this is Dawn Marie Alexander Borsico. Life is only a decision, and also your host of your Uncommon Voice Coaching and Consultant. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I look forward to speaking with you next week, and I hope that you'll leave your comments below. Have a great day, everyone. Bye bye. Remember, take your own thoughts and achieve the success that you want to achieve. Bye bye.